Our tip of the week is how you share model data with Revit. So all that information that I was just going through, that data information for creating properties and attaching that to classifications, is really important when we want to take this information and then save a model and then share that with someone who's using Revit, or even that matter, another program that accepts IFC information as well, or even a Revit file, because that information will also go in on the RVT output with ARCHICAD. So the reason why that's important, and this is a great example. So in ARCHICAD, when you go to create a ceiling, we don't have in Revit, there's a ceiling family. So when I go to create a ceiling, it's attached to a ceiling family. In ARCHICAD, we create a ceiling using a slab. So we then need to classify that slab as a ceiling as part of their classifications, right? Which also needs to be classified under IFC properties as a ceiling as well. And so what that does is two things. First, if it goes directly to Revit, then it's going to use this classification right here to say in Revit, it's a ceiling, okay? Because our classification says ceiling, and when it goes to Revit, it's going to see that also as a ceiling. If you're using the IFC, then it's going to pull from my IFC property down here. That's going to say it is a ceiling. And when it goes out and you save that as an IFC file and then bring that into Revit or some other program, because again, the nice thing about IFC, it can go to any program out there because it's an open format. It means that that information, that data about what this element is, also goes out with that. And so when you share a project using IFC, or as I mentioned, when you also save it using Revit or the RVT format, which if you've not used before, the RVT format is not a default in ARCHICAD. I'll give you a little precursor. It will be in the next version. But right now, you download it from a place called bim6x.com, and they actually have the RVT add-on to ARCHICAD that you can download and install. It actually was created by Graphisoft, but they are the ones who distribute it in the US. And then that's going to be incorporated in ARCHICAD in the next version. So in that IFC file, right, we pick IFC, and then we simply save that out, and then select what the data exchange is. And then, of course, that will then be saved out as a Revit file using IFC. And then it will bring that information, that data information, in the way that was assigned within the elements. And that's why it's important to classify those elements in order to make sure that information goes out properly, particularly when you're, and this happens a lot. I know I do it myself. You're using a slab to use as a tabletop, right? You're using a slab to do a ceiling. You're using various tools to create elements that may not necessarily be what they were originally classified as. So you need to reclassify them for whatever the output purpose is, if you're going to be working with other types of engineers, consultants, or other firms that are going to use that information as well. And if you have not used Revit or worked with IFC before, you can download the ARCHICAD connection to Revit. Or I should say your consultants can. You may want to send them a link to this. This allows them to install into Revit an add-in that will better will optimize the IFC file when it comes from ARCHICAD into Revit, so it works the best possible way. And then, of course, you can also open and merge IFC files into ARCHICAD as well using the file and merge command.